Yes, it's Stratos time again, and we are entering the stratosphere. Wait, what's that? Yes, indeed, it's good news on the Stratos front, and for those of you who have been following the series, the oil pressure has been resolved. And I'm hoping to get down there in the next few days to get some video and maybe even take it for a test drive. How exciting would that be? I know, it's more of a cough and a splutter, but it is actually off fuel, so we got it started up using brake cleaner, and it fired up no problem. And oh yes, we need to come back to the oil pressure issue, don't we? But yes, it's running of its own accord. It's kind of struggling to idle, so it's either the idle sensor or just the injectors are a little bit sticky, having sat around for a couple of years. So we may well put new ones in anyway, but we fired it up with the existing ones, and we have it running, which is very exciting. So let me tell you about the oil pressure. As you know, DRX wanted to completely remove the motor and, I don't know, strip it down to some kind of crazy degree. Anyway, the long and the short of it, they dropped the sump out, which in itself was not easy. So I have to warn you of that. It's kind of half getting the engine out just to drop the sump out. They took the pump out, they took the pump apart. It was fine. They checked all the channels simply by blowing air through, and there were no blockages, so everything was looking encouraging. But as I think I said, the filter itself was dry, and it turned out to be, and maybe it's just a question of actually priming the filter, which is what we ended up doing, but it turned out that the starter motor didn't have enough oomph in it to actually push the oil through the filter. So that was basically the problem. So Mike essentially primed the whole filter with oil to allow flow, and then cranking it over several times built up some oil pressure, and all is well and good. So the motor is fine, which is very encouraging. The next stage obviously was to get the thing to fire up. And as I said, initially we did that using just a little bit of brake cleaner, and it sparked up no problem. So we have spark, we have oil, we have fuel coming through some of the time. And we're almost at a stage where we can potentially get it running properly and take it for a spin around the block. So that'll be fun, and I'll be going down there in the next few days, as I say. Meantime, Mike's just working out that issue with either the throttle sensor or perhaps sticky injectors, one way or another. That will be resolved early next week, so it's all very exciting. Did I say that before? Well, it is. I did not make it down to the valley this weekend for the test drive. Yes, disappointing, but not so much. Yes, we were also having idle issues and throttle issues just in general, actually, with the Stratos. Those have been resolved. It was actually the relay coming off the ECU to the fuel pump was clicking on and off the whole time, effectively pulsing for some crazy reason. So we just wired that in directly, so the fuel pump just comes on, period, stays on. And yes, we are idling lovely. We thought it might be the injectors sticky, you know, they've been cleaned, but you know, they've been sitting around for 12-18 months doing nothing, so you know, things jam up, but it wasn't that. So as you can see, it's running quite sweetly. There's a little whine. And I'm not talking about this. No, I'm talking about the timing belt covers. Yeah, they're a little tatty. They're off the old motor. Probably going to get some new ones. But meantime, we just need to move them out a bit so that they're not interfering with the belts. Yes. So this is a very brief episode. There's some pictures here of fitting the air conditioning, getting that all hooked up. There's about 2 or 3 days more work just to get everything else checked over prior to any kind of road test whatsoever. And that will happen very shortly. So look forward to the next episode, please, where we'll be going over a lot of this and looking at it actually in situ with the car and discussing the issues that Mike had with various bits and pieces, emanating from the ECU. So thanks for watching as usual. Apologies for the lack of video of the car itself, but I wanted to give you an update on the exciting news and the progress, and make sure that you're prepared for the initial drive, which will be next episode. Yes. So if you haven't already, do subscribe and do look out for that next episode, and encourage others to watch my lunacy.